Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going through the worst things about the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Super Action Statue line. So I discussed the best things about them now, so of course I got to do the worst, as I always will be doing if I'm talking about the best things. I don't have too much to show physically here, so I will just be putting photos of some things that I do discuss. But I do have the Part 7 guys here because even though these are both great figures, they do include some of the things which I think are the worst things about this line. Quick bonus one before I jump into this. There's too many Rohan figures. There just doesn't. We don't need that many different versions of the same character. Actually, is that a bonus one? That is related to one later. But I'll jump into the number 5, which is related to these guys, and that's that some of the best parts of the figures are locked behind exclusivity. So this Diego head and Tusk here, I hope he's in camera. Let me just take him off to show him if he isn't. I can't actually see my camera that well. Everyone knows who Tusk is, though. Johnny Stan from Part 7. These are two, in my opinion, these are the two best accessories that Medicos have made for this line. And in order to get them, you either needed to be at the, I think maybe it was still a lottery back then. You needed to win a lottery to get these two figures, which it wasn't too hard to win the lottery, but you had to be there either in Japan or have sort of one of those proxies like White Rabbit do it for you, which is a bit of a pain for someone living abroad. So there's those two, and the only other way you can get it now is just by paying an expensive price. And they have come down since they did re-release all of these except for Johnny. They have come down in price a bit, so you can get, I think, Diego Wonderfest edition with this head goes for about 20,000 yen. Johnny, about the same, about 24,000 yen. Whereas back in the day, Johnny was upwards of 30. Diego did go up to about, I think, around 25. So they have come down a little bit, but still, if you want these, you're going to be paying at least $200 for them. Some of the other ones, which I think are great, you've got the Josuke smiling head. That's locked. I'll show this on camera now. That's locked behind Wonderfest of Crazy Diamond, who's a really ugly figure. He's the one that looks like broccoli. And again, you've got Giorno's mane, which is locked behind Wonderfest Gold Experience Requiem, who also kind of looks like broccoli. So I'd wish that. I mean, I'm not one of those people who collects and are like, yeah, I've got the exclusive stuff, only I should have them. I wish that they would re-release these and that everyone could get them because they're just really cool parts, and it's a shame that not everyone has access to them. So that's my number 5 pick. Number 4 is that there's very few releases every year. Now, I did say in my top list video for this that I like that Medicos are a smaller company doing these, and that does come with this downside that we don't get that many releases every year. So I know I've compared a lot to the SHF line, but if you look at those, they just pump out figure after figure, month after month for some of their the lines they're really dedicated to, like Dragon Ball and Kamen Rider. But for this, we only get at the moment we're getting like 4 releases a year, and 2 of those are just recolors. So we're really only getting 2 new figures every year. And so I think this year was Will this year? I think it was Will, and we're getting, I suppose we got Gyro. He's technically a re-release though. And then we're getting Lisa at the end of the year. So I might be wrong about Will. I can't remember. I'll look that up and then I'll put that on screen. Well, I probably won't because I can't be bothered editing that much. Anyway, yeah, so there's very few releases every year. And yeah, I mean, they are a smaller company, so it's expected. But with the amount of characters that they've done and the amount that they can still do, it would be nice if they could get this up to 4 a year, and maybe just or 6 in total, with 2 of them being recolors. That would be nice to see. Then we get 1 every 3 months or something. And I think that's affordable for everyone too. So that would be really good. Number 3, again, don't have much to show on screen for this, but it's the variation we get between figures. So I will put pictures on to show. And when I say between figures, I mean between re-releases. So, for example, if you look at Giorno 2019 here on screen, maybe, Giorno from 2019, the pink one, looks great. Then if you look at Giorno from whatever year he came out before that, he's got a completely different skin tone. Even though it's the same sculpt, his face looks different. So that's a bit strange. Some others like Caesar First, he has different skin tones between releases, and it's a shame for a character like him because if you want to kit bash, because they don't necessarily give you the anime colors of a character like Caesar. They give you two variants that if you part swap, you will get the anime looking version, which is what everyone prefers. But if you want to do that, you have to make sure you get a skin tone that matches. And Caesar has had, I think, 3 releases at this point for the first edition. And you just don't get to see that. You don't get to see the same consistency with every release. So it's just a pain. Sometimes you'll have a tan one, sometimes you won't. If you want to swap the parts, it's going to look a bit odd. So that's just one of the other ones. That's number 3. So number 2, they don't re-release second figures. But they've done some, but hardly ever. And they're sometimes some of the best. So I do have something to show in hand here now. Killer Queen, which I had in the other video too. So this is actually Killer Queen second. Killer Queen first is white. Kira, who goes with him, I'll put a picture here. He's purple. Kira second. Kira the first is also white. And the second editions of both Kira and Killer Queen have only received 1 release. And this was, I think, in 2011. I'm pretty sure it was back then. So it's like 10 years and they haven't re-released it once. They have sold it at their shop in Japan, but I mean, that's just a pop-up shop. So it's not even like a huge shop that everyone goes to. And no one, I mean, we can't access that. So that's a shame. Caesar Second is another one that people like. They never re-released him. We have had re-releases of Gyro Second, Giorno Second, and Jotaro Second. Giorno Second and Gyro Second are 2 of the worst looking Super Action statues. So that just sucks. Those are the only 2 we've got. There's a lot of seconds which are better than the first, and it's a shame that we don't get those re-released again. And my last point for number 1, I do have something to show for this as well, is we get too many, I don't know if too many is the right word, but we get characters that we don't care about. And of course I'm going to bring prosciutto. And just to rub salt into the wound, not only do we get a character we don't care about, we get this shit, which just looks absolutely terrible. I'm not going to focus on that because I've already discussed that. But for a show and a manga that has so many really cool characters, especially in the manga with part 6, 7, and 8, there's so many characters that they could have done before this guy. And I know he's popular in Japan, so he probably would have sold well. But I mean, part 6, if you look, we don't have Foo Fighters, we don't have Jotaro from that part. Part 7, we're missing ones like, I mean, I think Lucy would probably make a better figure than him. She's more irrelevant of a character, even though I don't care about her, but you've got Hot Pants. Sandman would be cool. Who else is there from there? Waka Pipo, Mountain Tim, just so many more characters, and that's just from part 7. And instead they give us him, they give us Risotto, who I don't really care about that much. There was one other I had as well, I can't remember. A Whole Horse who's coming out soon. I think people like Whole Horse because of memes. I don't think people care about him that much. So I just think it's like, I mean, it's cool to have a new part 3 character, but at the end of the day, I would rather have someone from the Higashikata family in part 8. So yeah, I wish they would release this. And it's funny because my number 1 point for the other video was that they have so many characters. So I'm saying here that they have so many characters, but there's some of those that we just don't care about. So I wish they would give us ones that we do. Eventually they are going to, but if I was going to have a prosciutto figure, I would rather have that after I have all of the that family from part 8. I'm stumbling on my words here. But yeah, okay, that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like these sort of... I prefer to do these kind of videos instead of reviews, mainly because it's just a pain to take my figures off the shelf and like repose them and everything. But I just enjoy talking about the figures as a whole and things I like about them, rather than just reviewing them, because you can already find a million reviews for these figures on YouTube anyway, and some of them are going to be way better than I can do. So yeah, I mean, just go watch those, and if you want to watch someone talk about them, watch these. So yeah, thanks guys, see you in the next one.